Okay, this is People of the State of Michigan versus Jonathan Garfield, docket number 20-624FH. This is the time set for hearing on the defendant's motion for modification of bond conditions. And Mr. Kuntz is appearing remotely with his client, Mr. Garfield, and Ms. Allen for the people. And you can go ahead with your motion, Mr. Kuntz.
Thank you, Your Honor. Can you hear me okay?
I can barely hear you. It would help if you were louder.
Is this better, Your Honor?
That's better, yes.
Okay. Judge, there's not a whole lot left to add to our motion that we put in writing. I think we kind of spell it out. But just briefly, Your Honor, I think in the modern world, the modern society, not even taking the global pandemic into account, the internet is, it's almost a basic utility on par with lighting and gas and water. Not quite, but I think to have meaningful participation is a necessity. But at the same time, I understand that not everyone should have those privileges, because sometimes those privileges get them in trouble. Now, Mr. Garfield is here charged with being accused of crimes that involve the internet. There's no skating around that. But, at the same time, he is presumed innocent of those charges. And denying him access to the internet, it's having an adverse impact on his life. And we're not asking for him to be able to go on Netflix or play League of Legends or some of the frivolous things. Look at cat videos, the many frivolous things you can do on the internet. We're just asking that he be able to do basics, keep better contact with order groceries through Amazon Prime, so he's not having to risk his health and safety or his family's health and safety by going out to the store, or conversely, going through an app to get groceries delivered. He's also got some items that he'd like to sell so he can take care of business, to take care of some financial obligations he already has, but also I think to get things in order in the eventuality that he might take a plea in this case, or if he doesn't take a plea and we lose a trial, he's going to have to get his affairs in order. He's trying to rehome a cat. And again, I can understand where the magistrate was coming from when she issued this condition in her original bond decision. And Jonathan Garfield's done nothing but comply with that. But I also think, aside from the allegations in this case, there's nothing suggesting he's a danger to anybody. And certainly nothing with him having the internet, there's no concerns that he's gonna flee, book a plane and take off. If he was interested in doing that, he would have done it already. So Your Honor, we're just asking that he have basic internet access so he can do the day-to-day things that he needs to do, so he can get his affairs in order. Again, in the event that he needs to serve some sort of jail or prison term, and whatever restrictions the court feels need to be in place, or safeguards the court feels need to be in place, we certainly understand that. We're just asking that basic access to the internet be given back to Mr. Garfield. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ms. Allen?
Thank you, Your Honor. Part of bond is trying to assess risk to the community, and the charges the defendant is charged with were only accomplished through his access to the internet, which is my concern. Count one is child sexually abusive activity in the aggravated way, meaning he's charged with having not just accessed child pornography, but arrange for, produce, make, copy, reproduce, or finance any child sexually abusive activity involving a video. And so I am concerned because it's not like we're modifying bond for, maybe he wants to travel somewhere or do something, but it would providing him exact access to the place where he went to purposely commit this crime. If there's a way, I understand some aspects of it. Most of these sound like an inconvenience to the people, but some of them in terms of, I don't know, trying to have a livelihood. I mean, if there's a way to, he could have access to an internet in a monitored setting where that's possible to ensure he only goes to this website or this thing, but I'm not sure how that's possible. If he can't go to a library or anything like that, I'm not sure. So I'm not opposed to that, but what I'm hearing is more of an inconvenience to give him unfettered access to the place where he was allowed to commit this crime to begin with. And that's my concern. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And that's exactly my concern as well. I haven't heard anything that would rise to the level of a kind of a hardship from not being able to access the internet. I agree that it's needed for a lot of things in life, but finding a no-kill shelter for the cat, I mean, things like this, they're just not essential. He is charged with 8 counts of different versions of child sexually abusive material and using the internet to commit or using the computer to commit a crime. And so there's a very high risk factor there. I'm not saying that Mr. Garfield would be appropriate for this, but here's the problem. If people are on probation, then we can give them limited access to the internet when they otherwise would not have it, because we have tools through the probation department where they can be monitored the way the prosecutor suggested. But when someone's just on bond, we don't have that. And so it's an all or nothing. I either have to say that someone charged with 8 counts of child sexually abusive material and using computers to commit a crime either has full unfettered access to the internet or does not. And given the nature of these offenses, I'm going to go with does not. So I'm denying the motion. And
Mr. Coons, can you prepare the order? If you want to email it to me, then you can maybe send my permission to send over.
Sure, I can do that.
Thanks.
Okay, then that'll conclude our hearing on this. Thank you.